We are live. Hi, my name is Elliot C. Brown. The C is for clarity. If you didn't know, it's actually for Christopher, but we'll just go with it for the purpose of this conversation. And I am your clarity coach. Today is day 2 of the Clarity Challenge, and I'm just going to be waiting for a few people to join. We're going out through on the streaming through 3 different platforms: Facebook group, which is a closed Facebook group, LinkedIn. Here, which you may be watching from, or here in the Facebook group, and YouTube as well, my YouTube channel as well. Well, today's day 2. Yesterday, I'm going to do a bit of a recap over yesterday as well. We had some great people join yesterday, and I've had a few messages about people that have created mind maps as well off the back of what we talked about yesterday, which was your strengths, which I think is something that we often overlook and something I think we should be very aware of as well. So just going to wait for the room to warm up. The room. There's me talking like I'm on Clubhouse. Just waiting for the live to warm up. We should be going out live. I believe we are. So let me know that you are, watching this from LinkedIn. When you make a comment, by the way, you probably have to give StreamYard permission to use your name if you're in the Facebook group. And if you are in LinkedIn or YouTube, just send me a message, make a comment on this as well. It might take a few minutes for people to come in and let us know that you are there for day 2 of the Clarity Challenge. Put a comment, let you know where you're watching from. I know a few people watched after yesterday's as well, so it may take a few minutes just to get warmed up and get going. So yeah, if you didn't know already, I consult, I teach, and I train when it comes to mind mapping as well. I help train corporates to use mind mapping to troubleshoot, something we're going to be talking about today, and also for leadership as well, for group brainstorming and things like that. Do this virtually at the moment, but I've been invited to this to a couple of corporates as well, which I'm really looking forward to over the next couple of months. When I consult, just so you're aware, I actually use mind mapping now. So I've actually brought that into my consultancy and my consulting, so I can go in and help to, in essence, create a bit of a blueprint of the business, and we can establish areas that need to be developed and things like that as well. So that's what I do. And also, I do a course on mind mapping and using clarity, using mind mapping to get clarity. But as I say, it's not all about that, it's about action as well. So yeah, just waiting for a few people to come in. I'm not quite sure what's going on, because usually we've got a few people that have joined already. Let me know this is going in. Is it in LinkedIn? Okay, so it should be live. We're being live for 2 minutes and 52 seconds so far. Great. Christine is here. Great to see you here, Christine. I usually give it about 10 or 15 minutes just to get everybody in here as well. Now, Christine, you sent me a message saying that you've created a bit of a mind map, and what you were trying to watch back yesterday was stopping at about half an hour. So let me know how that's gone for you and how you saw day 1. You'll be able to watch that. I can invite you into the Facebook group, or indeed, if you can't watch it on LinkedIn, it's over on my YouTube, which is Elliot C. Brown, I believe, or it just might be Elliot Brown. Check that out. I've literally launched it and done nothing with it, so I'm going to be doing a lot more with that over the next 6 months. So look out for that. But Christine, if you want to and you want to look back at any of these, then you're more than welcome to, and I'll invite you into the Facebook group as well, so you can watch those back. And there's a few extra bits and pieces in that Facebook group. So if you're watching this live, let me know that you are here. If you're watching this on a replay, then make a comment and let us know where you are watching from, and maybe what you do as well, because it'd be great to get that conversation going. If you've seen me before and you've had contact with me before, thank you for supporting. And if you're new to me and you don't know what I'm about, then listen, stay tuned for the clarity on this Clarity Challenge. The reason I call it a challenge is because I'm giving you some methodology around using a mind map that you can then apply to yourself, which is what the strengths was about yesterday. And I'm going to do a recap. So doesn't matter if you missed yesterday, I'm going to do a turbo recap as well. Christine's saying, so I'm just going to bring a couple of comments onto the screen. I'm using StreamYard to stream into this, which I've used very successfully before. So Christine's saying, here for day 2. Great to see Mike Allison here as well. Hi, Mike, Mr. AKA Mr. Telecom. Good to see you here, Mike. Thank you for joining as well. I know you missed the last challenge a month or so ago. And Christine's just saying that she's going to watch on YouTube as well. So yeah, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, literally just like to get get everything going. And I cocked up a little bit because I didn't get the active campaign emails going. My own fault, overthinking things and not getting that actioned. So that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to go onto LinkedIn and successfully, attracted a few people yesterday that actually couldn't get on the challenge last time I did it. Now I'm going to be doing these challenges probably once a month. I'm probably going to stream them into LinkedIn now, and I'm going to set them up as an event, a 3-day event. So the next one, look out for that. If you're going to be away in August, then look out for it in September. But I'll be definitely doing that. I'm going to be doing them monthly. And I'm going to change them up a little bit as well. So the troubleshooting, which we're going to be talking about today, is an incredibly powerful method to overcome problems. We're talking about that. And just so you know, so day one was about strengths. It was really talking about our own strengths. We'll talk about that in a second. I'll do a recap. Today is troubleshooting. And tomorrow, we're going to be going over some of the foundations, things that I think a lot of people overlook and don't look at when they're thinking about the foundations of the business. And I think that can catch you out later on as well. And tomorrow, we will be doing a masterclass as well, which will be going into the Facebook group. I won't be doing that into the LinkedIn. So if you do want to get into that, then let me know and I'll invite you into the Facebook group. I may stream it into, because of the way this has worked, I may stream it to LinkedIn. So bear with me on that one. And that will probably be around 5 o'clock or probably on 5 o'clock UK time, BST, that's London time, tomorrow for the masterclass, where we're going to be talking about quick wins. I'm going to show you how to establish and uncover and find quick wins in your business, which you can turn into regular wins as well. In essence, a revenue stream, a generator for your business. So look out for that as well. Now, Christine, okay, brilliant. So Christine's basically saying, I realized the core strengths can support many skills when I created the mind map. Brilliant stuff, Christine. This is what I want you to do, you see. I could go straight in with the business side of the mind mapping, but I'm going to keep that to myself because if that's something you want to work on, you want to figure out how you can sort of design out your business, or as Pete Cohen said to me many, many months ago, in fact, about this time last year, that nothing happens by chance, everything happens by design. And so we're going to look at how you can design out your business, what you want now, and also what you need to do for the future as well. That's exactly what we can do. So but starting with those skills, those strengths that you've got when you're a solopreneur or a business owner and you're a creative and you're a leader, then I think these are things that we need to look at. We need to really understand about ourselves. Because if you can dive in and understand yourself, then you're going to have less problems diving in and being really honest, brutally fucking honest with yourself about your own business as well. So when it comes to mapping things out, you have to be really honest, really open-minded, and be that leader that you need to be, that creative leader that you need to be non-judgmental about yourself or about your business. Not just look at it from a fluffy point of view, but be really real and really drill it down. Let's get granular. And that's what you can do with mind mapping. So we're going to talk about that a little bit over the next sort of 50 minutes or so as well, about how that can work. And I said I'm going to do a turbo recap as well. So great to see Mike here and Christine. Hopefully we get a few other people joining us. But as I said, listen, if you can't catch this straight away, and I know it's just 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and it's 8 a.m. In the US for Christine, I believe, as well. So thank you very much for taking the time to invest in yourself, Christine, and come and find about how mind mapping can help you get clarity and help you take some action as well. So yeah, we'll get going in a couple of minutes. If there's any questions or any comments you want to make, and you join later on or you watch this afterwards, please feel free to carry on making the comments, even if you're watching this on a replay, because if there's anything I can help to answer or any comments I can make, or good, bad, ugly, I'm good with that. Constructive criticism, I'm also good with. So if you want to do that, then please feel free to do so as we're going through the live. And if you come on the live, if you're on the live and we go through this and you want to make some comments as well or ask a question, I will come to the questions. I can see them on my screen here, and I will bring those up as well as we go through. So we're just coming up to sort of 10 minutes, and I'm just going to bring up the presentation, which is a bit interactive. I don't just put it up on the screen, just go through it, as you'll see, and you may well have seen from yesterday's as well. So I'm just going to add that in. 1 second. Why can't I do that? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So let's add that in there. So, okay. So I like this phrase. I saw something similar online at some stage, and I thought I'm going to keep that at some stage. And I mentioned it yesterday. And in fact, it's going to be going across some branding that I'm going to be doing now. So to look out for some slight branding changes that are going to be happening over the coming month, ready for the last part of the year and getting ourselves ready for next year, which I believe is going to be a challenging year, and I believe with the use of methods and tech methods like mind mapping, that's actually getting clear on parts of the business when you get challenging times can be in a great way of you overcoming some of those challenges really quickly, or identifying things that you need to get done, or that you should be doing, or that you did do and that you could be doing as well, or that other people could be doing. So it's a great way of uncovering, establishing, identifying, but really getting clarity so you can see exactly what is going on in your business right now, and what should be going on, what could be going on, and what will be going on in the sort of near future as well. So yeah, I want to be getting everybody ready for whatever is thrown at us, in the near and far midterm and far future, in your businesses and in your lives as well. So you're like a diamond. Yes, you absolutely are. But the greater your clarity, the greater your value. So as you get clearer, as you get more clarity, as you're able to communicate better, as you're able to be able to offload information to people, if you're really clear about this heightens your value to you and to everybody around you. So that's why I believe that you are like a diamond. And the more that we look at this clarity, the more diamond-like you get. Okay. So let me just bring this up onto here. Let me just take down a little bit of branding so it goes at that corner. As you can see, this is a 3-day clarity challenge. Okay, right. Here we go. Get the comments back as well. All right. So as I said, you are like a diamond. The greater your clarity, the greater your value. Welcome to day 2 of the Clarity Challenge. It's 3-day, 2 p.m. today. Was yesterday as well, which you can watch back, and 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then we're going to be doing a masterclass at 5 p.m. UK time tomorrow as well. And anybody that's come on this, then you'll be able to come on that masterclass as well, which I think is going to be hugely useful to you. Now, if you haven't seen this already and you've only just come into LinkedIn, anybody that's been on the email list may well have seen this, although we did have some things going into spam, so we're also sorting that out as well. Listen, I don't have a problem telling you the fact that I'm crafting some of this, or we are crafting some of this as we go along as well, because it's the first time I've sort of done anything like this. But I really wanted to share some of the things that I've done for many, many years, things that have helped me to grow multi-million-pound businesses, helped me to start a construction company, helped me to start a sideline business. It used to bring me in anywhere between 2 and 5 grand a week. All sorts of bits and pieces like that. And these are the methods I've used over the years. And it's only over the last 12 to 18 months that I realized I did these things, and I could be helping other people to do that as well. And I sort of really didn't necessarily use all of these methods and the things that I've done with some of my clients over the last sort of 5 years when it comes to the consulting. So that's why I'm really integrating all of this into my consulting now as well, to take consulting and coaching from an intangible thing to a tangible thing, something you could see. And I think for a lot of creatives like you and me, that's really important, to be able to see things. So I created a clarity guide. It's a 17-page guide. It's got some images in there as well, and it's really chunked down. So these are things that you can look at to establish about yourself and your business as well, and things I think you need to think about, often overlooked. If you want a copy of that, send me the word guide. I know a couple of people sent me that yesterday, and we'll make sure that we get a copy of that to you over the next 24 to 48 hours. So put the word guide, or comment the word guide, or send me in my DMs the word guide, and I'm going to get a copy of this to you as well. As you can see, the Clarity Guide follows the letters clarity: clear direction, learnings, action plans, resistance, insight, tests, and you. Those are the sections. It's 7 steps to getting clarity, and it's designed for overwhelmed or overthinking creative entrepreneurs that are ambitious and want to get ahead, which I guarantee is going to be you watching right now. So yeah, if you want to copy that, send me the word guide. So let's have a turbo recap over yesterday. Visualization techniques and tools date back to the 3rd century, where there was, I can't remember his name now, but he created a mind map, which is a bit like a tree. And I showed this yesterday. I've got a real bad memory for names, to be honest. But Leonardo da Vinci used mind mapping because he was very creative and he used that for taking notes. Tony Buzan brought mind mapping to the masses, in essence, in about 1974, the year of my birth. Bill Gates recommends mind mapping, and it even did in 2005. When this was really all starting to really take sort of I suppose a movement of mind mapping, and people starting to use that, understanding that we've got a noisy world, there's lots going on, and to be able to take notes, to be able to structure information, in fact, think visually, to visualize things and take what's in our mind and put it down somewhere we can see it, drill down into it. There's different ways of doing that, which I'll talk more about tomorrow, and the software that I use, the softwares that you can use for mind mapping. Well, Bill Gates said that there's a lot of people now that are creatives that are taking information and using this to be able to help them to be able to create solutions and be very creative. It's teams and things like that, which works really, really well. And Tony Robbins recommends this, as I've spoken about many times, you may well have heard, for using it for memory recall as well, which is an incredibly powerful tool. Believe it or not, we have the most powerful visual processors in our minds, and when we can visualize things and we can recall things, and that's how mind mapping can work really, really effectively, and can work for you as well, everybody, not just people with ADHD or creative business owners, but it's to work really well for you, and it can help you to recall information as well when you start using them. So, as I said yesterday, I'm not here to tell you what you don't know. I'm here to help you to see what you do know. The rest of the stuff we can work on. And that is where, when we dump the information we have down into a mind map, we can see the gray areas, which I call it the black and white areas. You know, the colored areas in a map are things that I understand. When it's a black and white, not colored area, it's areas I don't understand. I need to fill that in. And there'll be areas in your business, unless you have a huge team and you've looked at these things, you've drilled down, you're really very clear on your business, then this is a really incredibly powerful tool using mind mapping, or clarity mapping as I call it, and then eco mapping, which is in essence having lots of clarity maps and creating an ecosystem, which we can do in our business. And I'm going to talk about that over the next day or so as well. So success is much more than mind mapping. It's a tool to help you to see things differently, so you can do things differently and get very different results. If you want to do the same as everybody else, then that's great. But there's a lot of people that are going to be struggling right now, and unless they're clear on their business, unless they're clear on what they're doing, their purpose, and their mindset is clear, and their mind has got clarity, it's going to be very difficult when certain things get in our way. And that happens a lot when it comes to business and just being an entrepreneur and just in our everyday lives. Success, I believe, is a byproduct of 3 things: true positivity, banish negativity, take it away from you, but absolute true net positivity, because he keeps us in flow; clarity of mind, and clarity of purpose as well. And I think when you understand all of those things and you tie them together, this can be, again, something that can completely change your life. I don't think mind mapping is just something that you just create and it's just something to fluff about with. This can really change your life as well. And of course, let's not forget, when you've got true positivity, clarity of mind and clarity of purpose, and the determination of an entrepreneur like you are, then you are going to do great things, much greater than some of the times when you start doubting yourself as well. So a quick turbo recap. Why mind map? Well, I've listed those things that I did yesterday: visual thinking, brainstorming, brain dumping, problem solving, consolidating information, structuring things as well when there's a lot going on and you've got to oversee everything in your business, your organization, for focus, to present and communicate to people as well. Clear decision making can be made from this because you can see what is going on. Again, something we're going to talk about today when it comes to the troubleshooting side of things as well. And also for memory recall as well, as I've talked about. So, I spoke about this, and if you don't know about mind mapping, you start in the center. So the main goal, the main topic is in the center, and then you work your way out by breaking that down into different sections. I don't like to go for much more than 7 in a sort of an ecosystem of the business, and there's a reason for that. Again, I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. But here we go. Look, listen. This here on your screen right now, creativity for ideas, for brainstorming, for knowledge. That's in essence like a little bit of a creating a bit of a mind map, all of those things. And then you come off and spur off from those things so you can basically start to get granular, but you can see it, all right? And I'll talk about that as well. So challenge 1 was yesterday, of course. And this was the strengths mind map that I showed you yesterday. If you haven't seen this before, then very, very quickly, what are your top qualities? What are your top strengths? And I've got a list of these things in a second because qualities and strengths are different. Top qualities. Qualities are an intangible thing and strengths are a tangible thing. It's probably one of the easier ways to differentiate between the two. Your daily doings, things you do on a daily basis. What other things that others think about you when you're not, or say about you when you're not in the room. But what would they consider to say about you? Good and bad, right? So, think about those. What do they think your strengths are? What do they think about you as well? And what other people think that you do? A question I think that you'll need to ask yourself, what I need to ask others, what do you think that I do? And how many people have said to you, maybe your mum or your sister or whatever, or your brother or somebody that you know, yeah, I think you do something around this sort of area, don't you? Jeff, don't you? Elliot, don't you? Christine, don't you? Mike, is it around that, something around that sort of area? These could be your best advocates. So when people know what you do and they're clear about that, if you can communicate that really well, anybody that bump into them will go, oh, perfect. I've got the perfect for you. Mike Allison, he's Mr. Telecom. He's going to be able to sort you right out. Things like that, okay? Because I'm clear on what Mike does because he's explained that as well. What you like to talk about as well, that's a strength, what your hobbies are, or maybe you like to talk about business. What is it that you like to talk about? And also repeated mistakes as well on here, because listen, there's mistakes that we make regularly, and I think we all probably do this. And I want you to understand, identify what they are, because they aren't strengths. You need to take those away. But we consider they are because we keep trying to do them. So repeated mistakes as well. So hopefully that you will have created some sort of mind map that is a little bit like what I've created here on this here. Top qualities and top strengths, your repeated mistakes, daily doings, and what they might well be. Not just writing that down, but exactly what they are. And hopefully you will go away and ask the right people around you, not necessarily just your loved ones that are going to give you the answers that they think you want to hear, but something that is going to, that maybe a professional person, maybe somebody in your family, somebody that's brutally honest, and you respect that. Go and ask those people, but also ask those family members that say, oh, you do something around this sort of area as well, and see what they say, because you need to know these things. This is going to help you moving forward. So maybe you're sort of thinking, well, what's this got to do about business? Well, it's pretty important, because if you understand you and you can drill down into you and you can understand and identify these things, you're going to be able to do that with your business, and that's going to help you to mind map things out as well. So a few notable things when it comes to qualities, which are intangible, and your strengths, which are tangible. So qualities: honesty, integrity, loyalty, being adaptable, all intangible things. But strengths: creativity, creative, being determined, dedicated, things that people can see that you do. Being open-minded, where you might ask questions and sort of not be non-judgmental and things like that. Those are strengths that you can have. So Google those and have a look what they are, and create your own mind map if you haven't done that already, with strengths in the middle, and then putting those post-it notes around the outside, which is a much easier way of doing it, and then putting some notes around those of what they are, what those repeated mistakes are, what those top qualities or top strengths are, and just put them down there so you can understand, because it may well be that you don't agree with what people are saying about you, so you just need to communicate better to those people around you. And understanding what those things are can really help you to develop yourself as well. And so I think this is a really important place and a great way to start using a mind map on something. You should know yourself, right? You should know you should know your strengths. And it'd be interesting to know what questions you ask. So if you're watching this back, or if you did do this yesterday, what questions did you ask? What honest answers did you get? Do you like what you see on your mind map? And would you change any of it? Because you can, like explaining what you really do. Maybe looking at those things that you do on a regular basis that are repeated mistakes rather than being your strengths. So do you see yourself in a new light? And can you see yourself in a new light? So we go into We're going to start doing a lot more of that. And I would love to help you. So yeah, make sure you come on the challenges that I do. And if there's any time you want to contact me at all, then please feel free to message me. And I'd love to get on a call and chat with you if there's anything that you've got a challenge with right now that you think I might be able to help you with. So let's get down to business. Okay, that wasn't particularly in tune, but we'll just go with it, yeah? Okay, let's get down to business. So let's get diamond-like clarity. As I said, the greater your clarity, the greater your value. To you, your business, and everyone around you. Your loved ones, your colleagues, everybody, right? So it's really important to get clear. It's not just about mind mapping. Clarity is about what you create. And the results come from the action. So it's not just about mind mapping to get the clarity, but we've got to action things as well. Because without the action, it's just an idea. It's just being creative. And we can be overly creative, right? We can love to be creative. Particularly, I've got an ADHD brain. I'm definitely a creative. I'm definitely a visionary. And I could be creating all day, every day. In fact, I probably should do more of that and less of the other things that I do in the business. So that is something that is going to help us when we look at the mind mapping and we create the mind map around the business, because we can look at the things we need to action and not worry about everything that needs to be done and getting overwhelmed and get exploding head syndrome, but actually actioning the things that we should do. And again, check out tomorrow, because I'm going to show you an overview of what that can look like, and then drill down into one part of that eco map, into that sort of clarity map, that mind map as well. Today, we're going to be talking about problem solving. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, problem solving is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, firefighting in the business. Dave's just mentioned that live stream and comments seem to be connecting great on LinkedIn. Legit setup. Thanks very much, Dave. It works extremely well. Anybody wants to do anything like this or webinars, I suggest we come off using Zoom, because the connections are don't necessarily always work seamlessly. StreamYard works very, very well, and streaming into 3 platforms now. It can stream up to 8 different platforms as well. So this worked really well. So I thought I'd give it a test over the last couple of days, today and yesterday, and it works really well. So thanks, Dave, for the comment, and great to see the support as well. Thanks very much, Dave. Good to see you here, my friend. Okay. So firefighting. Now, I've always called it this because I think in business, as business owners, we do quite a lot of firefighting, right? Particularly as solopreneurs. If you're a solopreneur, if you're a business owner that is very much in the business, then you probably spend quite a lot of time firefighting as well. And it burns time. It burns away so much time and energy. So this is something that I've used extremely effectively. This is something I want everybody to be able to have in their sort of backpack of tools and things that you're going to use in business, is the troubleshooting mind map sort of 2-step solution. But first of all, when you have a problem thrown at you, this is really difficult. Now, of course, I want to tell you, and I'd love to be able to, we do this all the time, that when you have a massive problem thrown at you, don't try and just come up with a solution. Don't try and solve that problem straight away. You need to take stock of the situation, and you need to remain calm. Now, depending how big that problem is, sometimes you have to get straight to it. And this is going to show you over the next 25 minutes or so. It's going to show you something that's going to completely revolutionize and change the way you do things when it comes to problem solving. But I also need you to have a clear mind when you do these things. So taking a step away, going for a quick walk, going to get some fresh air before you do anything at all is going to help you to keep focused. Mind mapping is going to then help you to focus on it. We're going to talk about that, and helps you to keep control of your problem and the situation. As I like to call it, being creatively productive or productively creative. This is definitely a tool to help you to do that. And it helps you to keep logic as well. The big picture way of looking at your problem will open your mind up to limitless possibilities. And it's going to engage your brain as well. It's going to help you to stop panicking when you do these things. So calm, remove yourself from the situation, Think about how we're going to do this, and I'm going to show you how to do this over a 2-step mind map. And this is going to really help you. And it stops the panic, it helps the focus, and it will keep you in a way that's going to help to solve this problem so much quicker. Trust me, it will alleviate so much time and going to help you to accelerate the problem solving with regards to many different things in your life and your business as well. So, as I was saying, problem solving, taking a walk. Now, the Romans believed in principle that solve it as you walk. And I, for one, walk every 2 to 3 hours, as I've spoken about so many times. And if you're ADHD brain, ADD brain, very creative, not sure whether you haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, but possibly you are. Possibly you're just a creative, you struggle to focus. This is going to help you in more ways than one. Because when you go and take fresh air and you breathe and you walk, your mind is allowed to flow. The creativity will flow and it gets rid of the mind mess, the scattered mind. It will help you no end. Breathing steadily, not getting panicky. Breathing steadily and taking control of our breathing is also extremely important as well. And something else when it comes to problem solving and just actually functioning in a really good way, believe it or not, we were told not to daydream as kids. Actually, I want you to embrace daydreaming. You could class it as a form of meditation if you want to. But daydreaming can help to allow the mind to flow. If you did this every morning, you'd be amazed at actually how you could start visualizing things as well and start changing the way you do things on a daily basis in your business. And these are things that I believe are habits that many of us could do. There's lots of habits, lots of people talk about. These are things we can do easily without having to do anything else. You haven't got to buy a massive bath to put ice in it. You haven't got to do any of those things, which you may well do. But these are things that you can easily do, and it's going to help to keep your focus and change the way you function on a daily basis as well. So just a few things I like to add in, which are going to help you. Now, when problem solving, brainstorming and ideation, of course, is an incredibly powerful tool. Encourage it. Build on others' ideas. Focus on the topics at hand, which is where the mind mapping comes on. Be very visual with these things and maybe use images and things as well. Be very open-minded to other people's ideas, good or bad. Listen, I always ask questions and I often sort of think, well, no, that's not going to work. Or I feel a bit of friction and go, I don't really like that very much. But I'll always allow that to sink in a little bit and then consider what that person said. And if I want to be dismissive of that, I'm saying don't be dismissive. If I want to be dismissive of that, don't be completely dismissive. Think about what they said and consider whether it's actually helped you make a decision or whether there's part of that. There may be an idea in there, the birth of an idea. Not every idea is stupid. The only ideas that are stupid are the ones that you don't consider. So think about that. Brainstorming and mind mapping become hand in hand, and I'm actually going to be doing a drive time room on Clubhouse with the Winners Club starting next week, which is going to be called Business Brainstorming, and that in essence is going to be a way of us covering certain topics and brainstorming it, and then going over some ways that we can overcome or come up with solutions, things for everybody as well, or on topics. So brainstorming is great, and I love that. In fact, it really helps me to brainstorm with others. So we're gonna look at that. Now, problem solving fast, because we want to solve the problems fast. So troubleshooting, and this the way that I'm looking at this, and I'm going to help you to look at this today, is going to be a great way. So a clarity map, right, is going to start is to make the main problem the central part of the idea, your first mind map. Okay, and all aspects and subtopics are going to go around the outside. So we're going to get granular by then going outside of that and then breaking each parts of those down. We're going to show you this in a second. So when we look at this, just like any other mind map, this is the way we're doing it, okay? But we're not going to do it in just one mind map. We're going to do this in a two-stage. So by exploring the problem in this way, you should begin to realize why the problem occurred in the first place, who was involved with these things, what the situation was, how to overcome that is then going to be the second part of it. So you need to ask these questions. Okay. So think about this. Let me just make that, yeah, let's leave that like that. Okay. So consider what the problem. So a problem has arisen, and we want to look at a number of things as to why that has happened. What's broken? What exactly is that problem? Who was involved with that problem as well? Was there anybody else that helped that problem to materialize, to actually happen? Were they the cause of the problem? Or was it the fact that they weren't necessarily right to be doing that task or that job or whatever it is that you delegated to? If that's the case, I'm being very broad here. But who was it that was involved with it? So what exactly was broken and who was involved? Now, I think this is quite important as well. What are the first signs that you thought this problem might happen? And I want you to think back when it comes to a problem. And I want you to consider this when you do this. So this is a part of the challenge as well, of course, is taking this away and maybe having a look at a problem that you've got, right now, whatever it is, just to use this as a problem-solving tool. What were the first signs? So you have to think back. Your gut instinct. What was your gut instinct? Was there a point 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a few days ago, you thought this problem might happen? And what was it that made you think about that? What was it that made you consider that this was going to be a problem that you already knew was a problem and maybe you ignored it? So what were the first signs? How did that problem come about? How? The big how. First signs, and then how. How did it happen? What was it that made that problem come to light? How big is that problem, right? So the hows. What were the causes of the problem as well? Is there one cause? Were there multiple things that happened to create that to happen, to cause that problem to materialize? Is it a problem with a client? I don't know. Is it a problem in the business? Is it a financial problem? I don't know what this problem is, but I want you to consider what that is. And this is for you, right? Everybody's problems are different and everybody's solutions are going to be different for this as well. And this is also something I want you to think about as well. What have you already tried? If this problem has already arisen, what have you already tried to do to overcome this problem? Because those are things that you need to do. And if you keep trying the same problem, a bit like when we look at our strengths, what are the repeated mistakes? If this is a problem that keeps arising, what is it that you keep trying? Or what have you already tried? Or if you had a similar problem in the past, and we're going to look at that in a second with the solution, that you've already tried as well. And that's more of a solution base. So I'm moving on to the next bit. But what have you already tried? So what exactly is broken to cause what exactly is broken, which is the problem? Who has been involved with that? Is it just you? Were there other people? Was it a client that did something? Was it a member of staff? Was it a collaborative partner? Was it an outsourcing partner? Was it somebody that provides a service or a product for you? Who was involved with that problem that problem to happen? What were the first signs? How exactly did that problem happen? And then what have you already tried and what were the causes? Now, as you can see from this mind map here, okay, then this is how we're going to do it. We're posting those, the problem in the middle, what's broken, etc., etc. And around each one of those, what's broken, as you can see, there's like little mind maps, little post-it notes there, or you can just do this on a sheet of paper. However you want to do it, it doesn't really matter for now. This is just a way of you getting used to using mind mapping, but you want to note those things down. It may be one thing that's broken. You're not quite sure, so note a couple of things that you think is what broken. Who was involved? Is it one person? Is it a number of different people? And etc., etc. All right, so that's what I want you to do, is have a look at that. Now, this is the important thing about this, is having a look at what the problem is first before you come up with a solution is key to understanding what the problem is. Everybody can come up with solutions or to try and solve something. The problem is that problem may well arise again if it's not the right solution or combination of solutions. So understanding what that problem is isn't going to just help you out of that problem, but it's going to help you out of a similar problem in the future as well. So you start creating, in essence, a little blueprint of things in your business that can be documenting stuff in your business. Documenting a problem and a solution is going to help you with everything from here on out. But creating these mind maps, in essence, is a way of you creating something visual, a representation of something in your business. And when you start doing this in the whole business, this can help you to create SOPs, standard operating procedures, processes, process maps, and all of that stuff, which is also things I work with clients for as well. All right. So this is why it's important to understand the problem first. Okay. So then what we're going to come to now is solving the problem fast is about that, as I've just said. It's about ClarityMapz. It's about the solutions, but we've got to find the problem first. So we've looked at we've added subtopics, or we've looked at those. Who could help? What techniques? What resources? And then we need to branch our resources and then branch off to get granular on the things that you can do. All right. So let me just bring that up because I'm just covering that as well. So as I said, we're going to branch off. We're going to create that central topic. We've created those post-it notes around it. And then we're going to look at who could help you and things. So we're going to look at the solutions map now as well. And that's going to look a little bit like this. So here's your solutions map. So if we just go back, talked about here, subtopics for routes to solve your problem. So if you look at the problem, we're going to look at the solutions. Who can help you? The techniques, resources, and explore these in more detail. So this is what I want you to do. And I can look back, show you back at these slides again, or you can re-look at that as well. So let me just make a full screen on this so you can see that without being interrupted by me in the corner, although I can keep bringing myself back onto the screen anyway. So what techniques could be used or have others used as a solution to that problem? Look at what other companies will have done. Okay, look at other people that will have been in a similar situation to you in that situation. So reaching out to who again is going to be able to help you come up with a solution. Now, it may not be affordable, it may not be in the budget to do this, but these are things I want you to ask yourself, because as the business grows and as other problems arise, it may well be that you need somebody to take care of that. You may have people in your business to take care of that already. You may have acquaintances or colleagues or other business owners you can reach out to. Who would they be that may be able to help you come up with some solutions or some ideas? And then I want you to put that there, okay? So we've got what techniques could be used. Now, this who, the person you might reach out to, might be able to help you with some techniques. So what is the desired outcome as well? All right, so we've got some techniques down. We've got those off the who. It might be some ideas you've got, but what do you think ideally? It doesn't mean that you've got the idea, you've got all the solutions here right now. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got all the resources or the tools to overcome that problem, but what in an ideal, perfect world would be the solutions? And the problem is we often look at, okay, we've got to do that now, but I can't do that. So how do I do this? And that becomes a bit of a head funk as well, exploding head syndrome. Look at the problem. Let's look at the solutions. Let's see what solutions we've got right now. And we're going to break it down like this. It may be one solution. It might be a combination of solutions. Okay. But what is the desired outcome? You might have the problem and want to solve it, but ultimately, if that problem wasn't there, what is your desired outcome? Could this problem actually be something that's going to help you to understand something, help you to be able to create something different, help you to come up with a solution that actually becomes part of your business and part of your structure and part of what you do on a daily basis that can actually help you moving forward and help your clients, help your products, help your service? Who knows? But coming up with these solutions is going to be really, really important. So what is your desired outcome? I want you to note that down as well. How would others overcome this? Think about somebody in business that is in a business where you want to be in 5 to 10 years' time. What would they do? What would Bill Gates do in this situation? What would Elon Musk do in this situation? This might sound silly, but actually it isn't, because I want you to take yourself back. I want you to take yourself away. That's why I want you to be able to brainstorm and brain dump this stuff down into this solution clarity map. What is your desired outcome? How would others look at what they want the desired outcome to be? How would others solve this problem? They might have a team of hundreds of people, but what would they do? Because it doesn't mean you can't dumb it down. It doesn't mean you can't slim that down and use that for what you want it to be. What resources would you need in a perfect ideal world to be able to come up with a solution or combination of solutions to overcome that problem mind map that we've created? And also, just like what have you previously tried, what has previously worked for you in the past? When you have had a similar problem in a similar business, in a similar job, in a similar project, what has previously worked for you? Because sometimes we forget about the things we've done. Sometimes we forget the things we've done to help other people in a similar position. So what has previously worked? Now, I think you can probably see already how this sort of method could really work really, really effectively and extremely efficiently as well. So that is why I want you to look at the problem, break that down, chunk that down, get granular. So note those things around it, what the causes are, what's broken, who. Note the other things around that. Just one word or phrases. You don't need anything else, because this needs to be as simple, because you've got the rest of the information in your head, or we can get the rest of the information. So that's the problem. And this is then the solutions map as well. 2-stage, very, very simple, extremely, extremely effective. So when you do that and you come up with a solution or combination of solutions, you then need to, and this is something you can work on afterwards. It isn't necessarily something you're going to do right now, but I want you to do this. I want you to go away and consider what a problem is that you've got right now and break that down, and then what the solution or combination of solutions are. But you're only going to get that from having a look at all of these parts of the solution clarity map. Okay, the techniques and who and desired outcome, the resources that you would need, what others would do in your place if it was them, and what's previously worked in the past. And these are really, really simple questions. You might think of other things to ask yourself, but just keep it down to this. And then you want to, when you've looked at all of that, is then create a final branch off that to what the most suitable solution or combination of solutions will be. And then you can look at your form of action to overcome that problem. Now, you might be looking at that going, Christ, this is a long-winded way of doing it. Well, I've just explained that in probably about 15, 20 minutes. And if I can explain that in 15 or 20 minutes, you can problem solve in 15 or 20 minutes, possibly. Or you could do that in half an hour or an hour. But getting stressed and going and not knowing what to do and getting in a mind funk and then spending days trying to figure out what that is that effective and efficient? No, it isn't. But this is. So for using mind maps for problem solving enables you to realize that one problem can have many solutions, and you'll be able to obtain and determine exactly what they are. So if you can come up with solutions to overcome problems, what else will you be capable of? Because everything is possible. And with mind mapping, this is what I believe, if you start using a tool like this and you've got creative abilities and you want to get more productive and you want to start actioning things, this is a great way to be creatively productive or productively creative. Because if you're creating a mind map and you're being productive doing that, that is going to help you to come up with solutions and establish and uncover and identify things that you otherwise would have overlooked because of all of the stuff that we've got to consider in our everyday lives and our business as well. So challenge 2, everybody. If you're watching this now live or you're watching this afterwards, challenge 2 is to find out what the problem is and using that first mind map. This is your problem. And then what's the solution? This is the solution clarity map. Just to show you those again. The problem clarity map, drill that down, chunk it down, get granular, and then what's the solution or combination of solutions? But your solution is going to come from noting all these things down. And that's only going to work when you've looked at your problem. So don't go straight to the solutions at all. Now, tomorrow, this in front of you, as you can see now, is what I class as the eco map. Right? It's your business eco map. The foundations, identifying parts in your business, things that need to be overcome, so identifying problems, etc. Overcome things that need to be overcome in your business to help you move forward. Let me just turn that to that, so I'm not covering that bit. You've got marketing, sales, and processes, and then your people. This, in essence, is how we go clockwise from foundations. The foundations are what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but this is what an eco map looks like. Now, I've shown you some very simple clarity maps that you can use. One, to identify your strengths. That was just so you go look at yourself and start using a mind map. And then we looked at the problem solving, which is a troubleshooting two-step mind map solution. Something I think everybody could really use and help actually team leaders or business leaders, managers in their business to be able to use to overcome things. And actually, if it was in a team, you could really effectively and can effectively use this. So do that. And this is exactly what I get people in business to look at, is exactly how you can apply this to your teams to be able to come up with problem solving solutions to many different things in business as well. So this can be it's a great tool for you to be able to use in your business. So looking at the eco map for tomorrow. So that, in essence, is what we're going to look at tomorrow. I'm not going to be looking at the whole thing, so I'm not going to give everything away, of course, but this is what I work with clients on. This is exactly what I will be working with you if you want to work one-to-one with me as well. And this is exactly what the course will be based on, that's based over a period of time. And this is going to help you to really understand, to be able to know and grow your business. When you can see it, you can believe it, and you will achieve it. So there's your challenge today, is going away and looking at the problem and then looking at the solution clarity map as well. So if anybody's still with us and you're not watching this, or you're watching this live, and you've got any questions or anything you want to ask, then please feel free to come and ask a question or make a comment. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up in a few moments. But yeah, just want to, hopefully you've really taken something from this, something you can apply to your business, something you can use on a regular basis. And just very simple, very effective, and very efficient way of doing things as well. So so I'm just going to quickly just bring onto the screen just so you can see those again. So your problem clarity map, what's broken exactly, who is involved, what the first signs were to you, something you've got to really think about, how that happened, what you've already tried, what the causes were as well, before you can even consider what the solution is. You know, what techniques would help to overcome that problem, who potentially could you turn to or would you need as well for either input, information, or possibly that could even solve that problem for you as well. So any of the who's, anybody you think that might work for, the desired outcome, how would others do that? Others that are there and have achieved what you want to in your business, what would they have done as well? And resources, and you can Google things as well, of course, but before you even do that, I want you to note these things down so you can then focus on it, what the resources would be needed, and what has previously worked in the past as well. Okay, so that comes to the end of today's Clarity Challenge, day 2. And tomorrow, so we're going to come back. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of that eco map as well. Just let me bring a bit of branding onto the screen. So the eco map and the clarity map that we're going to be looking at tomorrow is the foundations of the business as well. So some questions you're going to be asking yourself, I want you to ask yourself, of those foundations of the business. And they're not what you think they are when it comes to the foundations. Whenever I ask this question, particularly of clients I'm going to work with, they always come back to me with the same answers. And they usually say, yeah, I've got the sales and the marketing, I've got these bits and pieces sorted out. I've got the suppliers and stuff like that. Well, actually, believe it or not, those are the questions that I'm not going to be asking at that point, because there's other questions that I want you to ask yourself. And I always want everybody to ask themselves as the foundations, the bare basics of the business as well. And I'm going to tell you why I know that's so important tomorrow, and go over some other bits and pieces as well. So I look forward to doing that with you tomorrow. So it's end of day 2 of the Clarity Challenge. Christine Seagrave just basically says, thanks for sharing this information. The processes involved in mind mapping looks fascinating. It absolutely is, Christine. And this is just the start of it. What I really want to work, what I love working with people on, is this is a great way of me giving you a few tips and a few tools, things you can use this for. But really, It's the really powerful stuff, the really juicy stuff, and we're going to start showing you a little bit tomorrow is how you can really help your business, really to get to know your business, to be able to grow your business, and to be able to able to understand enough so that when anything happens in your business or something comes out of the air or the market change and things like that, that you are able to be able to change things and little micro things in your business that can change the whole what you do and the whole process is. There's very small changes that can be made if you understand what they are to be able to maximize the results. And also, of course, make sure you join for the masterclass tomorrow, which is going to be at 1700 hours, 5 p.m. UK time, BST, British Summer's time, or GMT +1, which I think it comes up on some calendars. Tomorrow for that as well. So thanks very much for joining me for the second day of the 3-day clarity challenge. If you're watching this on a replay, then I hope you've got some value for this as well. Yeah, please come and join us back tomorrow. Again, if you've watched this and you want to make a comment, please do so, and I will get to the comments as soon as I can to answer them. If you want to send me a message on the back channels wherever that you're getting this, then please do so as well, and I can give you a link to book a call in with me if you want to have a quick call and go over everything that I've spoken about here so far. Anyway, other than that, thank you very much for joining me. It's been my pleasure sharing with you my method to help you overcome problems, the troubleshooting ClarityMapz. So, all right, brilliant stuff. Well, listen, it's been great. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Whatever you do, take something from this and make it fucking count, as I always say. Have a great rest of your day, morning, noon, and night, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, or around the halls of Clubhouse, or on any other socials. Big love to you. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to say ciao for now, brown cow.